China is now our fighting ally, or more accurately, we are China's. For China has been fighting our enemy, Japan, for 7 long years.
Quoted from Why We Fight, a documentary directed by a U.S. military major named Frank Capra. The American military authorities commissioned the film in 1944. Less than a month after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, 100,000 soldiers of the Chinese Expeditionary Force were sent to ward off the Japanese forces occupying Myanmar. The 10th American Air Force, which had been originally deployed in Myanmar, was posted in North Africa. As a result, the US and British forces won the Battle of El Alamein. However, the victory came at the cost of 60,000 soldiers of China's Expeditionary Force. The US soldiers retaliated shortly afterwards by launching the first air attack on Japan in April 1942. After dropping bombs on the assigned targets in Tokyo, the US Air Force flew on until they ran out of fuel. In the Pacific Ocean, US and British Allied forces fought against the Japanese Navy, whilst the most on-the-ground battles against the Japanese Army took place on Chinese soil. Chinese casualties during World War II even exceeded the populations of many European countries. The majority of Japanese forces were defeated on Chinese battlefields. Certain Japanese commanders have presented a recurring headache for the Allied forces. For example, the Japanese General Tomoyuki Yamashita fiercely fought against the Chinese army in Beijing in 1937 and continued to battle up until the last day of the war in 1945 when he fought against the US troops led by General Douglas MacArthur in the Philippines. Similarly, Seishiro Izagaki, who had led the establishment of Japanese-sponsored Puppy State in northeastern China, would eventually surrender to the British when fighting in Southeast Asia. Furthermore, Yamamoto Isaraku, who had plotted area bombing attacks of Shanghai and Hangzhou, would eventually go on to mastermind the Pearl Harbor attack. After the surprise aerial attack on the US naval base at Pearl Harbor, China called on the UK, US, and Soviet Union to establish the anti-fascist alliance. On January 1, 1942, representatives of 26 Allied nations fighting against the Axis powers met in Washington, D.C. to sign the Declaration by United Nations. In November 1943, the leaders of US, the UK, and China all attended the Cairo Conference. At the event, the Cairo Declaration was drawn up, which professed that all territories taken by Japan before and during World War II would be restored to a regional sovereign state. In 1945, at the dawn of victory of World War II, the Potsdam Declaration was jointly issued by the United States, the United Kingdom, and China. The declaration called for the surrender of all Japanese armed forces. The 3 above declarations issued by the Allied forces established a new objective for the international post-war order. In the next 2 videos, we shall show how China and the United States collaborated with each other to win World War II.